Hey guys, I hope we're live now.
Just
I
wanted
do
to
that
do that.
too. I want to do that too. Okay, we are making a video and it's going to be fun. It's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be, and I'm looking at her and she's looking at me. I don't know. But we are doing a video here about blended families. So we are a blended family of 6, right?
Yeah. But at this point, only 3 kiddos are like living in the house now. We did have 5 living in the house when we were first married, and now 3. But I would say a lot of what we have to say just kind of goes for marriages, period. And will hopefully, it's just stuff that we've learned through other people, through experience, and will hopefully just help the family, period. But definitely targeted to the blended family because it's pretty tough.
No, I wouldn't say it was pretty tough. I'd say it's really tough. So that's our difference of opinion. But and that's one thing that we are. I'm different than her. She's different than me. And we both have to. And I would say in any marriage, you both are going to be different. So you have to accept that the other person is different. That's what you fell in love with them for.
Yeah.
Not that they are all the same. But we have been married almost 3 years. And God has put it on our heart to do this. So let's go with it. So basically the first thing, what was that?
I'm just smiling.
Okay.
I don't want to be boring.
Okay. All right. First thing I wanted to say, and we got our notes. So if you see us looking down, that's what we're looking for. I come up with a statistic that blended families, they're estimated at 1/3 of all new weddings are blended families. So I know that's a lot of weddings and a lot of people are looking for some help. So the main thing that we want to talk about tonight, and do you have a Bible verse you want to go with first?
You go ahead.
No,
I mean, I've got verses for when I start talking.
Okay, well, you go ahead and start talking.
Well, you were in the middle of something.
See, this is how it goes. Okay. Okay. 2 points.
What were you going to say?
Oh,
Anyway.
Lord, I didn't realize. Okay, one thing I wanted to say that I did in researching doing this, we're talking about forgiveness, but one thing I wanted that really blew my mind was I read the Bible, I kept reading the Bible, and that there were blended families in the Bible, which I didn't realize that, which was very good. It was Abraham and it was Sarah. It was with David, and he had 30 different wives. But you do know the main marriage that was a blended family? Mary and Joseph, because you had Jesus and he had stepbrothers and stepsisters. So that's the main thing I wanted to come up with tonight, that blended families, you're unique. And that's what most of them are right now, because people in marriages now, without God in the center of the marriage, is when something gets wrong, they move, they get out. So that's the main thing.
It's kind of the easier thing in the short term, but definitely long term, the whole just getting out isn't good at all unless it's like a really bad situation. We're talking like abuse, a lot of cheating, things like that.
And I want to say, even in our marriage, and we both know, because I was divorced for 7 years, you were divorced for
13
years. We thought we had it all figured out, but I love to see the eye rolls, but we didn't. And that was one of the big things in our marriage when we started, was I thought my way was right. She thought her way was right. And when we done that, then we had to forgive each other. But then we had the stubbornness, the jealousy, everything that was going on, that we thought we were doing it right. She thought she was doing it right. And I will say, even with God in your marriage and God putting us together, because really I was not looking for anyone. She was not looking for anyone. And it just happened. And I think we both fought it a little bit, that even when God said, you're together, I know I did.
I don't think I did.
Okay, well, I can understand. So, but you got to forgive. So I'm turning it over to Danielle now, and she's going to talk.
Well, that was definitely what I was going to start out with, because when Steve and I started talking about doing this, he said, well, what would you want to teach on? And I was like, I don't know, of course, something just to help out. But I said, the first thing that comes to my mind is forgiveness, because there are so many opportunities for just one marriage with two people. But when you're blending a bunch of teenagers, there's a whole lot of forgiveness that needs to go on. And if not, a lot of bitterness gets in there, and you're like not even liking your spouse. You know what I mean? Like you're like, do I really want to come home? You know, and just like deal with the turmoil and that stuff that you liked. It's just all kind of buried, because it's buried underneath all this like anger, resentment. What would you say, baby? I mean,
bitterness, jealousy.
Yeah.
It's just,
I don't know for me if it was as much jealousy, if it just bitter. I'm going to tell you, like, going on into like hatred. Seriously. And it wasn't like specifically, him. It was just things he was doing, or things a kid was doing, or something like that. And it was not good. And it definitely didn't lead me to a good road. I'm talking health-wise, mentally, physically, whatever, So we actually went to our pastor, and we were like, this is like really, really rough. We need some help, and that was the one thing that he first brought out, was like the bitterness and what's causing that, and to be able to communicate in a way that you can come up with a plan to help what's causing that. So that would be my first thing, is like, and baby, what I would ask you is, okay, so how do we forgive truly? And it's not ignoring what's going on, because you have to address some things, but it's talking to one another in a respectful manner, not getting too defensive, not getting too much on the attack, being like, okay, we both have some things that are wrong with us, and we both have some things that we can share with one another that can help.
That needed to be changed. And we were both stubborn enough. But I always go back, how did you forgive? Okay, how does God forgive me? Because I mess up every day. I'm human. So God's not up there holding a grudge against me. So why should I hold a grudge against her? It does hurt.
So much easier said than done, though.
Yeah, it's not going to take, like, if she does something that makes me mad tonight, I'll say, I forgive you, you're fine, and leave on. There are certain ways I deal with certain things a certain way. I have to go for a run. She will get in the Word. She will walk. She will drive. Pray.
We actually talked about me driving. I did used to like leave the house super, super pissed off, just to be honest. And our pastor Josh was like, that's probably not the best thing to do, is get in your car and just fly down the road. So I have been working on that, and we give each other space in our house, or a place that's safe.
And we have safe words, even though I can't remember yours, but I know the look, and when the look comes, I know that's a safe word.
I just say peace. I'm like, if it's getting too bad and I just like can't handle it, like I'm like, I'm done with this right now. I'm just like, I'm at that point. Peace is what I need. So I need my space.
Okay, I'm talking to the men now. We are fixers. We want to fix something. We see something wrong with our wife. We want to fix it right then. That's how I am. So when we're in an argument and I want it fixed. I don't want to go another hour. I don't want to go another 2 minutes. I want it fixed right then. So you got to understand she's different than me. So I've got to give her time to cool off. She has to give me time. And I'm the one that's, when I get mad and I get mad at her, I'm just quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to believe.
And I would be like,
yeah, talk.
what?
And I
What?
just,
We need
no,
to talk.
I don't want to
We
talk.
need to talk
And
now.
I'd have to have my time to talk. So you have to give each person time to do it. But the main thing is you have to talk about it. And I will say it's taken us a year or longer,
Probably 2.
2.5, to come to this point. Because I think this is the point that God has told us, okay, you can help people. So just go ahead.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay. For example, something popped up. What was it yesterday, baby?
Yes.
That probably would have got us angry and not speaking really nicely. I mean, possibly like a week.
Right.
Legit. Like, really not joking, you know? And it would have like took its toll on us physically. I mean, we used to fight verbally, I guess, or just like trying to be so quiet. I was more of the verbal, and he could be too. But anyway, we would wear each other out. Really, I'm not talking physically, but with our words and our actions.
Yeah, that wasn't good. And it really wasn't, because God did not attend. God did not, I teach on, God does not take you to a certain point and leave you. So God did not put whoever's listening here together with their spouse or whatever to leave them. So God is here, but sometimes God, you have a learning season. Sometimes it's just God, you can't feel God, you can't see God, but you know He's there and He's growing us. Because if God did show up in our marriage, but if He had showed up like
he showed up in the wedding.
Yeah. our first argument, and we didn't have this argument over argument, we still wouldn't have changed. We would still be the same, going through the same things 20 years from now. Now, go ahead.
The big thing we did, though, truly, I think was huge. Our first huge fight, we had a couple in the church that helped us through it. And we really, really needed it at that time, Jennifer and Eric Denton. And then we also continued to kind of reach out to like our pastor, or just somebody that you see has a successful marriage. And to me, I mean, the other important thing to me is like, do they believe in God's ways of doing it? Anyway, to finish that story that I talked about yesterday, that would have sent us for like a week, like derail. I'm going to say maybe 20 minutes, maybe enough, like to where, I had enough, what would you say, time, or, I didn't ignore my feelings. I came to him, I'm super frustrated. I'm da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And he didn't go on the attack. He just accepted what I was saying. And he was like, I don't know. We just worked through it to go on and like enjoy our day, And
the one thing about that is you will notice whenever you try to step out and do something. I was at a youth conference. I was serving what God had told me to do. What happens? Satan knows that. So Satan tries to use her against me on something that happened, which that could have just derailed the whole youth conference, everything.
And I didn't cause it,
no.
But it came to me during that time.
Right. So and I could have held that against her. And I will say a year and a half ago, it probably would. Like she said, it would take us a week to get over this. We'd have to have counseling. I would be thinking, well, you just interrupted me during the youth conference, which it wasn't really her because it was my fault. But, that's even on a tape. Oh, gosh.
Yes.
Okay. See, we are making progress right here live. We are making progress with people. And I even admit that's my fault. No, we just want to help. And do you have any Bible verses you want to
That
share?
makes me want to kiss you.
No, okay.
Bible verses. Well,
I will use one right now, and I will quote her that we quoted this at our wedding. John 10:10. The thief kills, comes to kill, steal. The thief always comes to destroy. That's what he's after. If it's a good thing, it's a godly marriage, he's wanting to come after it. So just be prepared. And
the second part of that verse is, but he came to give us abundant life, above and beyond what we can ask, think, or imagine, And
I want to add one more thing, and then I will shut up, maybe. I was looking for a look at you. But last week we went to a marriage conference. We've been fortunate enough to go to 2 marriage conferences. And last week, one thing that really stuck to me is God is our one, but she's my 2. You can't be looking. It's always, I found the one. I found the one. You did find the one in God, but she has to be my number 2, and I have to be her number 2, not her number 1.
Amen.
And if I'm starting all about her, and putting her before God, then that's really a big problem. If she's putting me before God, then that's a really big problem. Or anything, even if your phone, anything like that. Yeah. So just remember, God 1, her 2.
Okay, and just to go off of that real quick, I do have a verse, John 2:5, that goes off of that, putting him first. This verse says, his mother said to the servants, whatever he says for you to do, do it. And he was talking about Jesus, specifically where they were running out of wine at the wedding, and Jesus turned the water into wine. And Mary, the mother, was saying, you make sure you do what he's telling you to do. So my first thing, period, in helping a marriage run smooth, helping a life run smooth, but it definitely helps a marriage, is if you all individually are doing what God's asked you to do. Like, say he's asked, I don't know, Steve to do the youth, like, not really to do the youth, but like step in and help out with events or whatever, to preach an event. Then he needs to do that, because if he doesn't, he's kind of got this resentment toward me. Like, if I'm somehow keeping him from doing that, there's an underlying resentment, and it does not produce good. So, very, very important to be obedient to the Lord, because anything he's telling us to do is the best thing we could do anyway, even if it don't look the best naturally. So
yeah,
just kind of,
I don't know if we helped any, but just forgiveness is the key to any relationship. Just try to forgive and forget.
Okay, and I'm going to finish with one verse that I had. Sorry, I did not have it pulled up, but here we go. All right, so this is 1 John 3:18, okay? And the verse is, let me find it again. My children, we should love people not only with words and talk, but by our actions and true caring. So I'm just going to say that as like a foundation for a marriage, for a family, for relationships to work, period. Like, don't just say something. I mean, although he wants us to speak loving words to people, don't just say, but do.
Amen. All right. I'm closing out here. Please, if you have any comments, let us know. If you like it, good. If you don't, keep that to yourself. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. All right. See you guys later.
Peace out.